is Las Vegas Vantage with your host, Rocky Dickerson.
Hi, and welcome to Las Vegas Vantage. I'm Rocky Dickerson with Realty One Group. Here on Las Vegas Vantage, we do talk a little bit about real estate, but we also, more importantly, talk about the community of Las Vegas and the great people that make this such a fine place to live in. Now, today, I am thrilled that I get to talk to one of the people that made me feel at home when I first got to Las Vegas, radio personality, Mitch Kelly. Mitch, thank you for being with us here today.
Rocky, it's great to be here. Really happy you invited me on. Looking forward to it.
So as I said, I really became to feel like I was at home because when I first moved here, I actually moved here at the end of 99. So in the year 2000, I wandered across you and Brooks O'Brien as the Wakin Crew.
Yes.
And that was how I started every day.
Well, we love hearing that. That was a lot of fun. We had a nice 6-7 year run on 95.5 KWNR. Brooks was terrific. We had worked separately on the radio station in different day parts, me in the morning and her in the midday. And the program director at the time said, you know what, I think you two would be really good at this morning show thing. And so Brooks came on and just instant chemistry because, like I said, we were friends before the pairing together. So it really worked out well on the show, and we had a terrific run together.
Fantastic. Well, now I got to imagine that, because obviously if you got a morning show, you're the time slot that people want to take advantage of. And have you ever had like any last minute guests just pop in?
We've had, sometimes people would walk the halls. The advantage of being in the morning is they couldn't get in the building unless we let them in. So what got people in the building was, hey, would you like to have some food? And, there would be maybe a local restaurant that wanted a word or wanted some free advertising. And so the best way to get in was to bake something. And, that was always the key. Then we would send somebody to open the door, and we would share with the other radio stations that were part of the building as well.
Very nice. Very nice. How about any stars that would just kind of pop in?
Oh, gosh, we had a lot of times we had a lot of country performers that were in town that wanted to be heard on the radio station. One time, a very Vegas thing happened when Tony Curtis just stopped by, legendary movie actor, and somebody popped in. I didn't know who it was. Sometimes people would just walk in and, poke their head in the studio. Hey, do you guys want to talk to Tony Curtis? What? Tony Curtis? I didn't know. I thought maybe, UNLV player. I didn't know. Yeah, we'll talk to Tony Curtis. So in walks Tony Curtis, and he talks for 15 to 20 minutes about the art gallery that he had at the Forum Shops. That was there for a time, a pop-up store. And the guy could not have been nicer. And I was talking to him about, I was a big fan of the old show Vegas. And he was occasionally on there as the hotel owner who would talk to Dan Tannen. I said, boy, I love that show. And he would just go into stories about Vegas. And I look back at Brooks, and she looks back at me, and we're like, where are we? Is this really happening to us? And it was something cool that not a slam against other radio markets, but there are just certain things that happen that can only happen here in Vegas. And that was one of them.
Sure. Now, I've known a few folks that were in the radio industry through the years. And I know typically if you're in a market even 3 years, that's considered to be phenomenal because program directors do like to change things up. You've been here in Las Vegas for, I'm thinking since was it 95?
1995 was when I arrived. And I chased a girlfriend who moved to Vegas. I was doing radio in Arizona, and she gave me an ultimatum. I said, okay, I'll come up. And luckily 95.5 hired me. And it was just a series of events, good luck, right place at the right time. When I first got to town, I lived literally right next door to the radio station, apartment complex right next door. So if somebody couldn't make it, hey, Mitch, can you fill in for the, yeah, I'll be there in 2 minutes, and I would just walk on over and do the shift. And you're right, Rocky, radio is one of those things where when you talk to somebody who's been in the business for a long time, they've worked in Las Vegas, but they've also worked in Detroit, and they've worked in Omaha, and they've worked in Philadelphia, and they've worked in all these different markets. And when it's time for me to tell the story about where I've been, I got to Vegas in 95. That's it. So I've just been real fortunate to be in one place, different jobs, but still in one place for almost 30 years now. And just to see Vegas growing all this time has been really something.
Sure. And now, from what I've seen of your career, you've worked for a couple of different companies in Vegas, and right now you're doing traffic for, isn't it the Odyssey Group?
It is the Odyssey Group. It's AUDACY, Odyssey, and it's 5 radio stations. It's Mix 94.1 and 98.5 KLUC and Q100.5, and the 2 news talks in town, 720 KDON and AM at 840 KXNT. And I do mornings and afternoons. And I see the bags under my eyes here, and maybe the double shift is starting to take its toll on me through that. But it's morning and afternoon drive traffic. And let me tell you, Rocky, it's better to be in a studio reporting on it than sitting in it. Because it is nasty out there, and it's not getting any better.
So you mentioned that it was a girlfriend that got you in Las Vegas, but what was it that got you into broadcasting in the first place?
It just looked like it was going to be something fun to do. By nature, I am lazy, and I don't like working that hard. And I was a big radio listener when I was a kid. I think a lot more people, listen to radios, take the transistor radio with you at night and listen to the jocks do their thing. And I just thought how much fun that would be, not thinking that it's work at all. Just thinking, play your favorite music, have a little fun. You work 4 hours a day instead of, the 8, 9, 10 hours that my mom and dad worked. This is what I want to do. And it didn't take long after I started to get radio jobs to realize that there is a lot of hard work involved to make it sound like you're not doing hard work.
Well, sure. So, I imagine that through the years, the way that you work in the radio station has changed. For instance, of course, obviously, if you were working back in the 70s or 80s, you would have been spinning vinyl records, and now you're just hitting a button on a computer.
Stacks of wax. That's right. Yeah, it's definitely been computerized. Some smaller stations still have turntables, but right now, the biggest problem we could have is not, a tone arm with the needle that goes bad. It's a computer software error where it can erase all your commercials and all your music because everything is centrally located in a computer. So you're really beholden to the computer working, whether it's sending traffic reports to radio stations or playing the biggest hits. So everything's computerized these days, and not everybody on the radio is live like you think they are. A lot of them are taped, and some of your favorite jocks even come from, Grand Rapids.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the way it is these days.
So we've talked about your profession as a radio personality. Let's talk about you as a member of the Las Vegas community. You've been here for a number of years. Have you ever had a moment in your experience here in Las Vegas, something happened to you where you'd say, you know what, this could only have happened in Las Vegas?
Oh, boy. Well, besides meeting a lot of stars that have played strip shows, the Tony Curtis meeting, met Garth Brooks when he was here for a residency, just a fantastic guy. But I think if there was one story, it was broadcasting live from the implosion of the Aladdin. And I want to say that was back in 2000. We were at the rooftop of a business that was next door. And I can't remember, the promotions department handles all these things. They would just come to us and say, hey, we're thinking about broadcasting live over here when the Aladdin comes down. And, I didn't think much of it. I thought, well, that sounds really cool. Sign me up. I'll be there. And then when you get right next to it, you go, well, what if things go wrong? You don't think about that when the invitation is first offered up. But we had a lot of people on the rooftop, and we're sitting eating sandwiches and waiting for the Aladdin to come down. And I like going to the Aladdin. So it was kind of with mixed emotions that I was going to watch this happen. But the broadcast went off without a hitch, and the implosion went like it was supposed to. But it was just one of these really cool moments that it was real fun to be a part of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now, obviously, the people that have listened to you through the years know that your wife, Pumpkin,
yes,
is obviously that's something that we hear about a lot. So how about you and Pumpkin? Are there particular favorite restaurants that you guys have here in town?
Well, we like to go to certain places if someone else is buying. Hank's Steakhouse at Green Valley Ranch immediately leaps to mind as a place that's extremely high quality. We've never been disappointed in it. It's first class all the way. The servers are terrific. You get to know those people. That's probably our favorite special occasion place as far as a place to go. But the older we get, the more our favorite place is DoorDash and getting something from DoorDash. But a special occasion, it's definitely Hank's. We love to go out for sushi at times too. But the older we get, the more it's let's stay in and order out and experience Vegas from the couch instead of going out and battling the roads and the way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, now, obviously, one thing that catches a lot of folks off guard when they hear about living in Las Vegas is, we're not always just hanging out at the casinos. No. What do you and Pumpkin like to do when you're going out to have an activity here in Las Vegas? What are the kind of things that you enjoy for fun?
We enjoy and it's hard to find in Vegas, but, quiet places to go because she works in the medical profession. So she's dealing with dozens of people every day in very high stress situations. And I'm talking about traffic wrecks and chaos and road closures and things like that. So when it comes time for free time, we like to find places that are quiet. So we like to go up to Mount Charleston, not Christmas week because everybody thinks the same way and they're all up there. We like taking the Red Rock Loop. Again, not on holidays because that's the one idea everybody has to drive around the loop and it gets, crowded. But just, places where we can go and just kind of get away and take a breath and enjoy, people associate Vegas with the Strip and downtown, and they should. But we like to go to places that wouldn't necessarily be associated with Vegas, places that are a little quiet and a little bit calm.
Nice. Well, gosh, Mitch, I certainly appreciate your taking the time to be with us here today.
Sure.
What are the ways that folks can get in contact with you? Any social media channels or whatever?
Well, my Twitter address is at Mitchy Vegas, and that will be a lot of tweets on traffic that's going on, but occasionally, salty takes of what's happening around the world. So if they want to follow me on Twitter, they can go to at Mitchy Vegas. Don't have an Instagram account. Maybe a little too old for that. And the more I look at myself there, the fewer pictures I should really post of me. And then they can look up Mitch Kelly on Facebook and follow me on there as well to see the latest adventures of myself and Pumpkin and our little cat, Charlie.
Gotcha.
And, yeah. So that's the way they can get a hold of us. And of course, through the radio stations of Odyssey Incorporated by downloading the Odyssey app to the phone, and you can take those radio stations with you wherever you go.
Very nice. Well, Mitch, I certainly do appreciate your taking the time to be with us here today on Las Vegas Vantage.
Rocky, thank you very much. It was fun.
Great. And thank you for watching here on the episode here today. Should you ever need to sell or buy a home here in Las Vegas, I hope that you'll give me a call. I would love to give you superior service. And again, please tune in each and every week. We always have a new episode of Las Vegas Vantage. Thank you for joining us here today. And please follow this video channel.